All right, this is Chapter 5, Lesson 7, Subtract Linear Expressions. So last time we actually talked about adding linear expressions. Now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to subtract them. So it's basically the exact same thing. You can still use algebra tiles. You can still use just regular subtracting. Okay? You're just doing it with variables now. So let's take a look. When subtracting linear expressions, subtract blank blank. Use blank blank if needed. So in those blanks, you're going to write like terms and 0 pairs. So when subtracting linear expressions, I subtract my like terms and I use 0 pairs if needed. So last time we actually talked more about 0 pairs. So remember, 0 pairs are just like additive inverses. You're just finding something, so like 3 and -3, they cancel each other out. They're 0 pairs of each other, okay? All right, so let's take a look at an example. So again, I can use algebra tiles if I need to. So I'm subtracting 6x plus 3 minus 2x plus 2. And I'm using algebra tiles. So I drew my 6 x's, my 6 green x's, they're positives, plus my 3, right? Okay, so I modeled the linear expression 6x plus 3, okay, and then 2x plus 2. So I'm taking away 2 x's, so I took away 2 x's, I have 4 x's left, and I'm taking away 2 positives, okay? So the nice thing about when you're subtracting linear expressions, unless you have negatives within the parentheses, it's actually really easy to just draw the first linear expression, okay? So you also want to think about when we were subtracting negative integers. Okay, so remember you can always switch that to addition and change everything to subtraction inside the parentheses or flip their signs. You can do the same thing here with linear expressions. Okay, so there are 4 x tiles and one tile remaining. So 6x plus 3 minus the quantity 2x plus 2 gives me 4x plus 1. Okay, so the next one I can do is find 2x minus 3 minus x minus 2. Okay, I can do the same type of thing here. Okay, so I have 2x minus 3. So I drew my 2x minus 3 minus x. So I took away an x. X is gone. Minus 2. So I'm taking away 2 negatives. Okay? So I took away 2 negatives. This was a negative to begin with. Minus a negative. So I'm taking away 2 of them. Okay? Also, if you want to think about it as if you're adding. So if my problem is 2x minus 3 minus x minus 2. Okay, so like we did with integers, I can actually change this minus sign to a plus sign. So I have 2x minus 3 plus, and then everything in here switches signs. Negative x plus 2. So this becomes an x. Now I can do it like I did with adding linear expressions. I can draw the tiles. Okay, and I get the same answer. So I have 2x. Now there's 2 positive x's. 3 negatives. Negative x, and then my 2 positives. Okay. So you can see that this x cancels with this, so I'm left with 1x. So 1x. And then this cancels, and I'm left with minus 1. So 1x minus 1, or x minus 1. So you can also use the additive inverse to subtract. When subtracting integers, you add the opposite or the additive inverse. The same process is used when subtracting linear expressions. So it's like actually what I just talked about a couple minutes ago. So find 6x plus 1 minus 3x plus 1. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use the additive inverse. So I changed all my signs on the inside of my parentheses. So I have 6x plus 5 plus negative 3x minus 1, and I just add like normal. 5 plus negative 1 gives me positive 4. 6 plus negative 3 gives me 3, so 3x. Okay. So it gives you the exact same thing, it's just another method of doing it. You can use either method, it's completely up to you. Personally, I find that if I change all the signs for the second one, it's easier for me to visualize it. Again, you don't have to. If this works for you, the minus negative 2, so I'm taking away 2 negative tiles, you can do that as well. Okay. So there are a couple of try it problems. I want you to go ahead, pause the video, try them out, and when you're done, we'll go over the answers together. Okay, now that you had a chance to try out the try it problems, let's go over the answers together. So I have find 5x minus 9 minus 2x minus 7, use models if needed. So I'm going to go ahead and use models for this one. So there's my first linear expression, 5x minus 9. Now it's telling me to subtract 2 x's, so I take away 2, they're gone, and subtract 7 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? So I'm left with 3x minus 2. Remember, those were negative to begin with, okay? So I can use models. That's one way of doing it. I can change it to additive inverse. I'll show you that way as well. So I have 5x minus 9 plus negative 2x plus 7. Okay? So I'm going to add 5x minus 9 plus negative 2x plus 7. So negative 9 plus 7 gives me negative 2. 5x plus negative 2x gives me a positive 3x. So 3x minus 2. Either way you do it, you still get the same answer. Okay, you can also use algebra tiles to solve this one as well. All right, then I have find 4x minus 3 minus 2x plus 7, use models if needed. So I'm actually just going to do the additive inverse on this one. So I'm going to rewrite 2x plus 7 as plus negative 2x minus 7. I'm going to add them, 4x minus 3 plus negative 2x minus 7. Negative 3 plus negative 7 gives me a negative 10. 4x plus negative 2x gives me 2x. So 2x minus 10. Then I have find 4x minus 4 minus negative 2x plus 2. Again, I'm just going to use the additive inverses. So this becomes positive 2x minus 2. Again, I just switched my signs. Okay, and I add these together. 4x minus 4 plus 2x minus 2. Okay? Negative 4 plus negative 2 gives me a negative 6. 4x plus 2x gives me a positive 6, so 6x. And that is the end of Chapter 5, Lesson 7.